that I saw that it was advertised that there were spaces for Pride in London, and I sort of did a quick research and emailed the people behind it and found out that there'd never been a space that was specific. Obviously, Travellers have been in Pride, but there's never been a space where it was like a codified space for them. So I just sort of applied kind of absent-mindedly and thought, oh, I'll see what happens. And then it was only like 3 months later when they said, oh, you've got a space, you can take up to 30 people. I thought, oh God, I've now got to do it. And so that was when I started to kind of reach out to people I knew that I thought would be good to get involved, and then sort of got a Twitter and a website presence, and that's how the ball got rolling. But it was really just me kind of going, oh, that might be a good idea, and having no clue what I'd let myself in for. On the day, it kind of, in Pride in London at least, there's this huge arch that you walk through at the beginning, and that kind of marks the start. But before that, you're in a holding pen for like 2 hours. And before that, we had a place where we met up, and I'd never even walked through Pride before, let alone kind of organised a group. And I didn't know everyone that well because we were all coming from different parts of the country, and some people came from like Europe and everything. So the day was sort of divided into 2 parts, where up until I walked through that arch, I was really stressed and was not a nice person to be around. Like, we were running and trying to find a BBC at one point, and they were like, I had no idea where they were, and they kept ringing me, and there were like thousands of people around, and like just everything kept going wrong, and we lost this one lady. And then as soon as we went through the arch, it was like, well, there's nothing I can do anymore. And like everyone was just cheering at you, and it was just really, really lovely and great and cathartic. And it seemed to just go by in a flash. It was actually like an hour and a half, but like you're just dancing, and the people in front of us had quite good music on their little thing. And so it was just a really nice atmosphere, and it was just quite cute to sort of think, oh, this didn't exist last year or the year before or whatever. Yeah, so the feedback for sort of the day itself was really positive, and everyone was really glad it happened. But sort of the thing that I keep thinking about it is that if it is just once a year we go to London and 20 gay gypsies walk down the street, that's essentially, it's not worthless, but it doesn't really do anything. And that was kind of more the first place to meet people, to start putting stuff together. So now we're kind of actually having the conversations about, do we want to be doing more activism or like advocacy work, and like, because we've met with politicians and this kind of thing, or is it better for us to be a bit more of a community group and run like regular meetups, because lots of people talk to me about isolation and that sort of thing. So it's, the feedback from the day itself was great, but what's been more positive is people since saying like, I like this as a project, and that I want to kind of get involved with this, and oh, I'm really good at this, I can get us a room here, and those kind of little conversations starting. It's still a bit early days, but that's the sort of feedback that I think is more meaningful than I had a nice time getting drunk with you in the street in London. I think that we're in a really interesting time anyway, because of the internet and everything, where like the Pride could never have happened sort of 15 years ago when Twitter wasn't really a thing and it was a nightmare to set up your website and this kind of stuff. It can only happen now because of this. So I think that there's going to be a lot more kind of reaching out. Because like the Pride thing was surprisingly easy. It didn't take being an organisation, it didn't take a lot of money. It took like me knowing a few people that I knew would do it, and we just went and did it. So I'd like to see sort of us just going out and doing stuff more, which is why my view on the Pride thing is I think we'd be better if we started being a community group and like built up from there, because then at least we could say, well, it's a waste of time waiting for the government to try and do something for us. I'll just start doing it. That's kind of, I'd like to see that being a bit more like, you know, us just sort of taking a bit more ownership of it.